Travel, draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun. Travel, draw for everyone. From silly doodles to masterpieces bright, we'll make something special day and night. Colors explode with each new design. In Travel, draw, it's always fun. Travel, draw, let your imagination soar. Travel, draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun. Travel, draw for everyone. So grab a brush or a pen or a crayon. Make a mark any way you can. In this world of shapes and lines, we'll see creativity shine. Travel, draw, let your imagination soar. Travel, draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun.
Welcome, everybody. We are live. Okay, so we came up with this topic literally a few hours ago, and something we're going to be talking about literally has changed about 5-10 minutes ago. So we're going to be breaking some breaking news as we do the topic for tonight, which is talking about the death of originality. So we're going to be talking about different things. And we're already getting our bot of the night from Kick. So we're dealing with that problem. I'm also going to try and lower the mic from spiking, which here's the little click. I'll just try to not spike the mic. We're still adjusting to the new setup with the audio. But tonight we're going to talk about a few subjects. We're going to talk about the Cracker Barrel logo incident. We're going to be talking about Disney changing their coming movies and television shows a little bit. And we're going to talk about two series that kind of are on par with tonight's subject. One, the latest episode of South Park, and two, one of the latest episodes of King of the Hill. So we're going to be talking about both of those to kind of talk about what we've been doing in entertainment and whatnot, and pretty much just in general subjects. We're kind of numbing down the idea of making yourself creative. Thinking up of ideas, drawing things, all that. And we're letting computers and AI pretty much dictate this. And we'll go into it as we go in through. Could I finish most of my work in my lifetime using AI? Yes. Would I feel right about it? No, absolutely not. But there's so many people that have that mindset. And it doesn't even just have to be AI. It can be, the mindset that the older ways are not the good ways. And that's what we've been seeing with the Cracker Barrel incident. So last week we were talking about the stupidity of logo changes, and Cracker Barrel fell into that, but at the same time it was new when we were talking about it last week, and now we kind of got it a little bit differently. I definitely need to lower the spiking. I'm probably lower it on the sound card as well, so we don't have the spike that it just did. But tonight we're also going to be drawing some Demon Blade and Witching I'm on hold for about 2-3 weeks for any new strips as of right now, of both, or new pages of both. Simply because I want to get ahead. It's something I like to do, or like to be about a month ahead in releases from the pop-up release, simply because we do a page a week drop. And if I'm right on that page of a week, if I get sick, I have to cancel. So I mean, it's better to get myself ahead. And I truly think with Demon Blade, I'll jump ahead at the next chapter, here in the next chapter, real quick. Because I'm going to be hitting where there's going to be less panels, more action, and it's going to be like two or three panels in a page. And I mean, I say that as we draw this is a total of 5 panels. Normally, you don't want to go above 8 or 9 at the most. A lot of people, especially if you do manga style, you don't want to go above 5. But if you got something like a gag, in fact, if I show you what I'm working on witching for this page, this is going to be the lower half is such a gag. So it has our main character, starting her job as a waitress, and sort of the different interactions with regular people that she likes. Well, not like, but regular customers. And then she gets the guy that's been irritating her all day. So you have pretty much similar, oh, I'm happy, and here, let me talk, and be sweet, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, I have to deal with you. Like, what are you doing? Stalking me? And that's literally the joke. But I mean, it's got to be played over the rules of 3. To kind of get into, I don't like this guy. And that kind of helps out what is with this constant that. And I will try not to do too much spiking. We'll see. It's weird that I can get through the gaming streams and not have it, but all of a sudden I have it when I do the art stream. Okay. So, we're gonna start with Cracker Barrel. Simply because, as I said, there's breaking news in one story, and it's the Cracker Barrel story. So as we work today, we're gonna mainly be doing Demon Blade pages, simply because I'm reaching a very pinnacle point of the story that I kind of really want to show character emotion and sort of the pull of the story here and how it's been playing through for the last 2 pages, chapter. That has been telling the story of essentially a dream dying. So we get to see this through in Demon Blades, with the character Roland here, through the story of this Fobonin, because he wanted to live, it's like he's always been kind of that goof. He's not good enough to make the team, and he's finally gotten that chance, and he's gotten that chance to play. And his friends who are there to help him so he can actually have this moment, I just screw it up for him. And I mean, it's that element of taking that hit that what you want in life doesn't always come to you. And that's kind of what this part of this chapter story is about. Because the other half of this chapter focuses a lot more on stuff that's been building in the story for a while. The relationship between Kyle and Tetra, and the Mai versus Yoku element coming into head. And so this part of the story that we've been started in the last chapter and are concluding is coming about. And so we have this sort of sorrowful moment between friends, and whether or not Roland can forgive their friend Tetra for how they brought upon something that kind of destroyed his dream, and moving on with things. And so right now I wanted to get a viewpoint, one of Tetra, but I also want to get a point of Roland's love interest, which is my sister, Ino. So what we're drawing now is Ino. And just kind of her being a little sad for the guy that really likes her. And her own feelings that she feels the group screwed this one up. And a lot of it is the way Tetra and Mai sort of made their own game out of the game. A competing game. And weren't really thinking about Roland's feelings and why they were really there. Because it's going to happen. In life, people will make decisions that will hurt friends. And so I felt when I wrote this story originally, and this point in the story originally, that's what this story had to be about. It's about, while we love and care for our friends and our loved ones, sometimes we're not going to do what's best for them. And sometimes just out of stupid decisions. But we're going to be talking about decisions to not be creative these days. And we've kind of talked about this before in the past. I mean, we talked about AI dumbing us down, and very much this is coming into play. And I mean, it was the focus. I know a lot of people are like, oh, South Park's just attacking, the Trump administration. This past week's episode is more about numbing our brains, becoming sycophants to stories. Iris, how's it going? I don't know why my stream chat is not showing your message, but I can see you in the screen. So, how's it going, Iris? So, we're going to talk about that a little bit and how that show kind of got into things. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about changes in mindset that, for better or worse, are coming about. So let's address the first one we're kidding, which is the Cracker Barrel story. So Cracker Barrel is a long tradition of a Southern cooking style restaurant where you get home good Southern food. And it was meant to be sort of that old general store kind of look, which has its dating back into, 1800s to 1960s. And Cracker Barrel, that was how they designed it. And recently they came out with a new logo. And so, as we talked about last week, sometimes people design really bad logos and they try to take the creativity out of it. And we kind of talked about the creativity of the logo of Cracker Barrel coming out of it. And over the week that it's occurred, we've had pretty much a kind of negative tone to it. And I feel rightfully so, because they're changing their logo. They're getting rid of an iconic logo. And they were going with more of a just kind of bland to play on the logo. So, let me see if I can pull up the new logo a bit here before we get into it. So, which is let's bring over that talk. All right. So this is the old logo. It has an old man, which is like, I forget his name, but it's like Uncle Walt or something. It's something like that. With a barrel, which back in the old days, you would, of course, package everything in a barrel or a crate. And that's how you store things. And crackers would have been stored in a barrel, and you'd buy like a handful of them. Now this is back in the old hardtack days. But recently, I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding. Okay, here we go. Recently, they're going to this logo. And the C's the same, but you're losing the line on the K. You're losing the sort of swirly pattern or rounding about, and you're losing around the old uncle. And it wasn't just the logo. It was the interior. So this is essentially how it used to look. Old-fashioned or whatnot. This is more what it's become now and what they're trying to do it. Now, like I said, there's a change here. So, as of about a few minutes ago, an hour, they're going back to the old. Cracker Barrel lost about 30 to 40, maybe more, and their stock. Their parking lots were empty, and they were adamant that, oh no, this new way is the way that people like, despite a large outcry of how it's not. It's taking away the old tradition and bringing in a new, very sort of clean, whitewashed. And I mean, that's a saying of basically taking a painting and just covering it white paint, just making it blanking it. And so the concept is you're making it clean and presentable. And the idea was to attract new audiences. Now, the problem being is a lot of things have done this in the past. McDonald's has done this in the past. A lot of people say, oh, well, no, I use McDonald's. Let's see if I can show you. 90s. So, a 90s McDonald's, you had a play place. You had, the creativity of logo. Nowadays, you have this. It's more bistro. It's clean cut. There's very minimalistic design to it. And we've gone to that minimalistic nature in so many franchises, so many stories, and whatnot. And people are now realizing it's like, where's the whimsy? Where's the originality? The play with the audience. AI can't write new content, sure, but AI can absolutely make Toy Story 10. Yeah, and even that's what we're kind of be talking about. We can get stories and information, and thank you, Kitty at Crone, for saying that. We can get those kind of stories and stuff to come in from AI, but it's gonna lack heart and feeling, and it's just gonna create very bland, whitewashed stories. And again, it's not a racial tone. It's literally about making things as they originally were, or not as they originally were, as a blank canvas, and just redoing the entire face and the name off of a brand that's had years to develop. And that's the problem with the Cracker Barrel scenario. So yeah, going from this logo here, or this was a new logo they were designing, and that's the old. So taking this, and it was the store too. It's like, so I can absolutely see a world where we reboot a sequel, happy big name studio like Disney can use AI to recreate actors, and we use endless AI sequels to reboots. Digital Mark Hamill playing Skywalker and Star Wars Episode 25. Yes, absolutely. The bringing back the dead in film is definitely something creepy. A lot of people said, oh, the stuff that can't remember her name, but the actress that played Leia, they brought her back in the what was it, ninth movie? Eighth movie. After she died, and it just looked fake, and they still brought her back in 9 as she was dead. And you would lose a lifeless, all right, you just get a lifeless character. Now, can AI eventually go on that? Possibly. And we'll get to that as we get to the AI discussion. But we're dealing with a concept of, what do we have as traditions that we're abandoning to make and appease everybody? And that's the problem with the Cracker Barrel. And the best example I have to give this, and I'm actually gonna have to switch my mic here for a second to here. This was the third episode of the new King of the Hill. Now, in King of the Hill, throughout the show, there is one thing and one thing only Hank Hill has always taught his family, and that is to love propane. Propane is the way to go. And I don't know why I'm getting these notifications. Propane is the way to go. Now, the new series takes place years after, and their son Bobby is now an adult. He's running a restaurant, and by the only way the people are offended, the Cracker Barrel guy, were like zero. Exactly, Kitty. Now, like I said, within the last hour, Cracker Barrel's caved. They're keeping the logo. Don't know about the store, because I mean that was another thing they were doing. Was trying to make it more modernized in store. So that's still up in the air. But the logo they've caved on the logo as of the last hour. They're gonna keep the old logo. Now, in this episode, and I think I have it set up that we can actually hear it. Bobby's restaurant is a fusion of Japanese, German, and Texan. And part of the Japanese traditions is to do a barbecue with charcoal. And that was a no-no to Hank Hill. So I'm gonna play this a little bit.
Now is probably not the time to...
It's not.
It's not. Okay, it's not mine. So basically, he's having to confront his dad in this third episode that he's using charcoal. And it's like a dagger in his dad's heart. But it's on the concept of tradition. And Bobby's not using a tradition cooking style that would be done in sort of the United States normally. He's having to use specialized charcoal to get the taste of the Japanese here. The only we already got that. I don't know why it's the new ones that come up. The Twitter already are vocal, sure, but there's responsive of the normal population. They all like an extremely small minority of terminally online weirdos from Portland and California. Yeah, it's a lot of the Cracker Barrel situation is they were listening to a mindset, like you said, from California, from Oregon, from Washington, from New York, and Chicago, but not listening to the rest of the United States, especially the area they originate from, which is the South, the Southern cooking, cornbread, grits, collard greens, fried chicken, that kind of stuff. It's soul food. It's the South's feel, and it's what Cracker Barrel's tradition is based off of. And we need to respect tradition. And that's why I like this episode of King of the Hill that came out. It's all about when tradition comes into play, we need to be willing to bend, but at the same time, also listen. It's important to understand tradition. And we can modernize tradition, but don't eliminate tradition. And it's something with the Cracker Barrel story that's really important. It's really sad. So, I mean, it's it's truly about that. I mean, when we talk about art and AI, and so let's go back to the art part. When you talk about art and AI, it is important to know how to traditionally draw, know how to traditionally tell a story. And when we go into AI using it, it's not gonna, it can be taught that that's the old way. But if you're asking for something new, it's not gonna understand that. Bobby in King of the Hill was actually trying to be traditional. Yes. In that episode, Bobby was trying to be traditional. And Hank had his mindset of propane's the traditional way to go, which it wasn't. And he proved Hank wrong in the end. By actually providing a well-made meal. I mean, it's not just Hank, because I mean, they go into the whole concept of, you know, someone not of a race using another race's element. Now, the irony was the ethnicity of Germans were having the problem about the food. A Japanese man, air quotes, I have to use air quotes because it was a black man that was raised by Japanese folks. And the story that was telling, you know, you're not Japanese, you're not using tradition, I won't sell you charcoal. And the irony is, we can learn from traditions that aren't our own. We can adapt them. We can grow from them. But the important part is to learn about those traditions. When I do a series, especially like Demon Blade, that has Japanese anime influence and whatnot, I study all the traditions, especially when it comes to elements of the story that are based in history or based on pretty much a part of a tradition that I'm going to explain about in the story. And so I study the tradition, I study the ways, and I'm not going to get them all right. I mean, I'm not 100% getting everything clear, I'm sure of it. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, I got the source from AI. No, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to learn about, you know, what it is. And Demon Blade, I'm very much telling a lot of old traditional stories and revamping them to tell a new story. I'm using the old to tell the new. And there are ways to do it. And our next thing to cover, which is going to be a change in the way Disney is performing, we'll cover a little bit of that. So, I mean, Disney's been known in the past to take stories and adapt them. And these days, it's less that and more, we're going to take a story and kind of modernize it to a point where the story's not being told right. And, I mean, I will use a movie that was semi-successful this year for him, but even lost the point of the very movie it was about, and that is the Lilo and Stitch remake. It lost the point that the story was about family, found family, made a family, and whatnot. And the story they're deriving in that film comes from a story of the ugly duckling, of the swan that was raised by ducks and is, quote, the ugly duckling. And that's very much the point of that story. But Disney, in their remake, were like, family doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter. It's like, you just took the heart of your film and killed it. Right there. By taking away the concept of what is a family. And butchering it. Literally butchering it to literature. And it, while this year film did okay, losing its moral, its story, I feel deadens the concept of films going forward from Disney. And I think Disney's waking up to that they've done some damage to themselves in their films. Because they've kind of ignored the basis of what their company is based on, which is family. They're a family company. That's what they were founded on. Entertainment for the family. And Disney kind of chased away because they're like, oh, we have them. We don't need them. We need new audiences. And they walked away from what they had to find something new that wasn't there. And it showed in movie, how movies came out, how TV shows were taken, and they were just bland and woke and missed points of actually telling a decent story. They weren't being original. They were being just a cookie cutter consuming product. Now, Disney did use a lot of AI. They still do. Until I see that differently from them, I don't believe they've truly changed. Now, they did do, from what I understand, the Fantastic Four movie decently. Where that was a film about family. The irony, they kept the family in Fantastic Four, despite its, fourth attempt of telling the story of Fantastic Four. They kept that attempt or concept in Fantastic Four, but they lost it in Lilo and Stitch, where it was 100% the basis of that story. And so when we sacrifice the basis of a story, or we sacrifice their love, and it's a lemon shadow, lemon sharks. Okay, hi, how's it going? When you lose that concept in your creation, you kind of deaden your story. You lose the heart. And it's important when you create a story to know why someone would read it. What is the story you're trying to get across? It's something that's like sequential. You'll have an overall story, like a comic. You'll have an overall story for that issue. And you may even have like an overall story throughout the series. But those two don't have to meet. It's just pointed to, you need to tell a good story throughout and focus on where that story is. And it doesn't have to be even a fiction, doesn't even have to be a story. It can be, going back to what we early talked about, when we talked about Cracker Barrel. just traditions of what you make or what you sell your audience at. And knowing your audience, always knowing your audience, is key in any product. So when you create something, so I'll use my own property. So in the case of Be My Wife, I have to know who my audience is. I can't just be like, oh, well, my audience is, teenage boys or teenage girls, of a certain age group. Or, adults or whoever. I have to be like, okay, who will like and read this story? And so I have to build off of that, and I have to make sure my script stays on that. And if I tell a new story in the comic, it needs to tell a story that will still relate to that audience and still come to that audience. And let's say we're selling a product. If I have, I'll use my example right in my head. My phone. I have an iPhone. Now, am I gonna go and buy the latest phone and whatnot? Well, some people, yeah, because they're huge into buying new phones. Me, I can wait. I generally wait because I just want a functional product that I can answer the phone, use apps, emails, text, and keep general context there. I don't need to go buy the new iPhone. I don't need to, buy the latest product. I'm literally buying a new car right now. I don't need to go to the stores and buy a brand new car. I can buy a used car. But I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be like, what's important to me? So with me, with a car, a car that is functional. So it's something that is reliable. So I need to study what vehicles I get in my price range and what can meet those demands and function. So it's that kind of importance that I put into what I want, and I look for companies that provide that event. And so I like reliable vehicles. I don't buy domestic. I always buy import because import have a history of being quality vehicles. And that's here in the United States. It may not be the same, where somebody else lives and whatnot. Traditionally, I would be like, yeah, I want to buy American. But when I looked at the quality of the vehicle, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, I'd had all three. All of them died all the time. I had to replace. I bought a Dodge. Okay, I bought a Dodge secondhand, barely any miles, nice sporty car. A week after buying it, the engine died. I had to get that replaced. I replaced that engine. A year later, the engine died. I swore I will never buy another Dodge because I'm not going to pay for a brand new engine every year. It's absolutely absurd. So, it's out of that mindset, one has to be like, where do I sit with what is being made, what traditions I like, what personal things I like, and stand with that. And I will say I'm happy to see places like Japan really hold to the tradition and really hold to that concept of these are the old ways. And yet they're still modern. They still have modern technology and whatnot, but they're still old ways that have lasted hundreds of years. And at the same time, we're seeing Europe as it does right now, and people are being forced to change their views, to lose their traditions. And it's sad. It really is. You know, I mean, if you've seen Italy in the last few months, or Greece in the last few months, it's horrible. That it is. I literally watched a video yesterday on Twitter, X these days. I literally watched a video of a woman that was an American citizen that stopped a pickpocket in Italy by grabbing the pickpocket's ponytail. And they were demeaning the woman stopping the pickpocket. Because, heaven forbid, you prevent the loss of your own product, own objects. And this coming from a place like Italy, I realized I put this on the wrong layer, where the old ways would be, you know, you would deem a criminal so bad they could lose their head. You'd lop off their head. And these days, it's like, no. The criminal has the right. It's absurd. It really is absurd. We don't focus enough on traditions, and we make way to kind of make people feel good, which in turn hurts people. It doesn't make us feel good. It may make us feel good in the moment, but it hurts us in the long run. And it's that way with stories. It's that way with, you know, anything we do in nature. And so let's bring up the Disney here. So Disney, the Pro Deficit Studio headache, a new plan to win men back at the box office. So, in the last decade of Marvel and of Star Wars, we were told that then it's not from that. It's winning. It's all about the winning. And Disney started really shoving this down. And it's the same with the remakes. It's like, oh, no. People love it because it's modernized. And Disney was slowly seeping money because they were like, oh, if you don't like it, you don't come. You don't have to be here. And people didn't come. It literally was the words of people like Brie Larson or, I'm already forgetting her name, from Snow White. You know, the lead actress of Snow White. They were like, oh, if you don't like it, then it's not for you. Or if you're a male, it's not for you. You don't have to don't come to our movie. And they didn't come. And so box offices would drop and drop and drop. Now, my problem here is Disney's trying to bring back the male audience, but they're still going the AI route. Still letting AI create movies. Letting AI do art in their films to try and save money and budget, which is ridiculous because you get horrible slop that doesn't with things. And we can say that as we have the music in the background say AI, but we wrote it, So we wrote the lyrics and everything. And my voice is AI. We use nowadays an AI voice product just to help enhance the quality of the audio. We also use it to a little soften my voice a bit, but it helps out. It really does. But we're not using it to replace people. So, I mean, if I could afford as an individual to pay someone to do the music, perform it and record it, I would. I'd absolutely. We'd take the lyrics that we made and we'd like put this to music, redo the song. But because I'm a broke artist, does my own work, and pretty stubborn. I will admit my stubborn nature. I am very much one of those people that's like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And it does put me into problems. It puts me in bad situations where I over promise for my work. And it's something I have to learn myself to deal with. But I'm not going to have AI draw for me. Because I'm trained to do it. I've gone through not only years of college to do it, but years of training myself out of college, which by the way, absolutely. If you can do that, don't go to college. Don't go to art college. That was probably one of my biggest mistakes. Aside from meeting great people that I still call friends, even though I barely talk to them. I did not see the benefit in college. All I saw in college was being told how to do art, other people's way, and not learning how to do art my way. And absolutely, if you want to do art, you want to do a story, you can learn from people. It's sure. But you don't need to go to college to learn how to be creative. You learn by doing it yourself. And I do hold that as one of my biggest mistakes in my life. So, yeah. And I've definitely learned a lot more. And actually, I did promise this on Sunday. So let me get a blank page. So I told on Sunday, I was going to show how I used to draw. So in middle school, I would draw people like this. That's how I drew it. And a lot of people will go like, oh, well, that's a lot better than I can draw. I can barely draw a stick figure. So, even though a stick figure is the basis of learning how to draw. It really is. But this is how I used to draw back in middle school, elementary school, that kind of concept. And they said, it was like, you would have some artistic capability. I'm like, yeah, maybe. And then they taught me, let me see if I can pull up my gallery. Let's see. Just waiting for it to pull up. So I can show something. He's like, now it'd be life drawing. So in college, let's bring this one up here. They would teach me how to do figure drawings. This was literally 2 years of my college time in art, was learning how to do life drawings. Now ignore the groundhog life sketch because we did that on my stream. But we did this. I mean, you can see some self-portraits I did a little bit later. But I mean, it's literally, we would be in the room with nudes, which honestly, the college would pay homeless people to come in and draw. And some of the times it was so bad that in -degree temperature, we'd be opening the windows just to get clean air as we had to draw these people and learn shape and form. And it wasn't till years later I could do something like this, which was done in a quick draw study of a groundhog. I was just like, oh, well, we'll just do a real quick sketch of a groundhog from start to finish. And so it's a lot of structure and form that you can actually be taught, just by simple traditional ways or by self-taught. So I say, stick figure. So let me pull up what I've got here in Demon Blade. So as you can see here, let's go down to the lower half. These are characters. I can tell you each character by their form and their function in this image. But you can look at this and be like, what the hell is this? For me, this is how I learn how to draw a quick form and a quick C. So that I can do a little bit more. So in this case, I would draw a rough circle and try to put the eyes. I didn't even do the lines, which I should have, which makes these kind of a little valid point. These are a little bit more important because I spent more time on these. So it'd be like I drew the circle around, and in Roland's case, he has a flat chin, so I need to make sure his chin's flat. He's got a, little bit of a bulbous nose. So, round out his nose. And he's got these rectangular eyebrows. So, I wanted to do that. See, I didn't even fully do Tetra's hair here. And whatnot. So, I see the thumbnail. I think Cracker Barrel has said they're keeping their... Yes, Pokey. Actually, yes, we announced that. We announced that when we started the stream, we covered Cracker Barrel. And then we announced, yes, they are keeping their old logo. No word on about how the stores are being redesigned. If they're going to keep the old design or go with the new design. Which the new design, it's very much repetitive of McDonald's over the last 10 years. Where they've kind of made themselves dystopian. Cold and unfeeling. Which for McDonald's probably is appropriate. I mean, I can't get my fries to be hot and salted, right? They lost at least 250 million. I think it might have been more with Cracker Barrel. There are people showing pictures this weekend at prime hours with nobody in the parking lot of Cracker Barrels. And they said they weren't changing the food, but I don't know. I haven't eaten Cracker Barrel in about a year. I do enjoy it, but with my health, I can't eat much. So it's like, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, I I grew up on the tradition of what Cracker Barrel served. And my grandma would always have a Sunday roast or her fried chicken, stuff like that. Maybe not. It's not M. But well, I mean, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking about tradition versus modernization, where a lot of things are going into. We even used a recent episode of King of the Hill that really done that in, which is the third episode of the new season, where Bobby Hill goes to Shark Hole with his restaurant, defying his father of the probate. So it's a very important thing to know the tradition versus, you know, newer styles and whatnot. And to see Disney do the change, it's wait to see. It really is. I mean, like I said, a lot of people enjoyed the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen it. I have not even seen the new Lilo and Stitch, although that is now on Disney Plus. And since I had Disney Plus at least for a little while, I'll probably watch it. And see how it is. But we'll see. So as we go into the second hour, we'll talk more about the AI, and we'll kind of draw in the latest episode of South Park. And so we've kind of talked before about, well, enjoy streaming, gotta go, but Douglas. All right, thank you, Ogie, for joining in. So the latest episode of South Park talked about, I mean, they kept going with the Trump stuff, which I wholeheartedly believe is Matt and Trey purposely trying to save their show. Because either way, they got 150 billion. I think. Billion, or I don't remember if it's billion or billion. A lot. It's a lot of money. And so I wouldn't put past them purposely doing that to irritate and get Paramount sued, because they're not on good terms with Paramount, even though Paramount bought them for another 5 seasons. Because they know where their money's, their bread is butter. They know where it is. So in the latest episode, it, of course, covered more modern day events, but the overall concept was Randy was using AI to basically tell him what he wanted to hear, and how that basically led into his decisions in life. And I wish that was science fiction, but it's true. There's so many people. I mean, you just have to go on X and see how many people in an argument continuously say, "Big Grok, is this true?" And they don't bother doing the research themselves, don't educate themselves. They just let AI answer for them. And we kind of covered this, like I said, when we talked about AI dumbing us down. We're too dependent on AI to answer for us. And we're becoming, as the show amply was styled, sycophants. Now, they did it as fans, but it's sycophants. It's basically absorbing what we see. Well, not absorbing anything. just taking other people's word for it, and believing it, and very much, being dependent on somebody else to tell us how life is. And that's not how life is supposed to be lived. It's, we need to be, of our own mind, owner of our own actions, our own traditions. And when we talk about being creative, it cannot exist in an environment where we live solely on what a computer tells us. And while AI gets smarter and smarter, and Elon's, threatening that we are in GAI, which is General Artificial Intelligence, where it's already smarter than us. This is the point that sci-fi movies are built on, where AI is making itself more intelligent than the human can ever be. And then we're being dependent on AI to tell us how to think. And when we live by somebody else telling us how to think, we don't think for ourselves. And the irony was, ChatGPT wrote that episode, or wrote part of that episode. Now, I do think that and Trey were smart enough to be like, no, we're going to use ChatGPT to answer, to write the parts that Randy would be asking. So they write what Randy's going to ask, and then they let GPT honestly tell them. And that's what they wrote, is what actually came about from the AI. I have a feeling that's how they wrote it. But yeah, it's their second time using ChatGPT to write an episode. And it's good on them because they use a way to creatively use it. And a nature. And I'm not saying AI should exist. There are elements in our lives that AI would definitely be helpful, particularly the medical field. It can diagnose and find problems way better than the human can. I went, since 2014 to 2023, undiagnosed for gastroparesis. No one believed what I had, they could see the problems. They could see me in pain. They could see me, having a hard time, dealing with things, and I'd bleed out. But they didn't understand why. We went through a test after test after. I cannot tell you how many colonoscopies and endoscopies I've had, and I'm not even 50. It is ridiculous. I think I'm on my 8th or 9th these days, and most of them have been from 2014 on. It's absurd. And then add to that we've tested like every avenue. I even had a moment where I had to eat a radioactive sandwich and sit in a tube, lay in a tube for 6 hours. And I'm not talking like, a lot of people fear, you know, what is it? CRT machines, MRIs. They fear those machines. Those machines are nothing compared to this one, because this one, if I was like 10 pounds heavier at the time, I wouldn't have fit in that dude. It was so skinny, and they can't change the size. It's absurd. And my body was just going numb, just having to lay there after I ate a radioactive ham sandwich. And what it was for is they had to watch the food as it moved through my system and digest. And that was a good day. When they had me digest that, it was a good day. So the food actually digested most of the way. They're like, oh, well, there's still a little bit there, but it's been moving. It's been moving. And when you have nothing but to lay there for 6 hours, it was a loud machine. I mean, you just had earplugs. You could have a face mask, and that was it. And it's like, ugh. And so, I mean, that probably was my least favorite test of that one. And it wasn't until 2023 in October where I finally had been given a... Hold on a second. Let's get rid of that. They finally gave me another test. And this test was my least favorite. My least favorite. Yeah, the radioactive sandwich was annoying. But my least favorite was the Bactrim. So I had to go empty stomach early morning to the hospital to drink Bactrim and have them scan it every hour. And they were going to watch my digestion of this material. And when I sat there, it took, I kid you not, 8 hours for me to digest. Normally, the human process takes about an hour at the most. Hour and a half, maybe, if you really stuffed yourself on food to digest. It took me 8 hours to digest Bactrim. I couldn't have water. I couldn't have anything to eat. I just had to sit there, drink Bactrim. If I threw it up, I had to drink it again. The same stuff. I could not stand it. And I literally was there from 7 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And once that was done, they were like, your food's not digesting. It's like, you've got gastroparesis. You've got it pretty bad. Because it's literally not moving. And it's like, all right. So I tell that story that basically we tell ourselves, what we need to digest. And mentally, we need to educate ourselves. Be it in a task, in a skill, we need to digest mentally. And that is why reading books is always such a great idea. And if there was the large concept back in the day that you're a reader, you're poisoning your mind. It's putting ideas in your head and you're thinking too hard. When in actuality, you're feeding it right. You're coming up with ideas, you're coming up with intentions. And honestly, when radio came into be and television came to be, we kind of weakened that mindset. We're like, okay, we'll listen to everybody else and not read, not educate. And then once we got to the computer age and we got the internet, and then we got to the point where it's like, oh, well, I read it on the net and then whatnot. And now we're not even doing that. We've got people literally saying, I'm on this, I'm on this social media and I disagree with your point. AI, tell them how they're wrong. And that's how we're mentally digesting. And we're not learning things that are very important in life, like critical thinking. Critical thinking is if something bad happens that you need to work your way through, you need to be able to think that concept, not have a computer tell you that concept. You need to think of that concept. And we're seeing that with a lot of people these days in the workforce. And be like, oh, well, I take this job because I don't have the 20 years of experience. That's one of the biggest things a lot of people complain about. It's like, well, you don't need the 20 years experience. You need to educate yourself on what they're looking for. And so, I mean, I've told people I've not had a job since February. It's changing somewhat. I'm taking a part-time position. I'm in extremely part-time position. That thinking is about maybe 10 to 15% of the job. It's literally just physical labor. And it's not even like strong physical labor. It's like very minimal physical labor. But it's something that cannot be done by the computer. Maybe eventually you can build a robot to do it, but it's like, no. It's understanding and making decisions on products. And if we let computers, if we let AI kind of make decisions for us, we're not really deciding anything. It's like, if I want to eat, so I mean, tonight I made myself some soup. If I want to eat that soup, I'm not going to let a computer tell me what I'm putting in that soup. I'm going to make it based off my taste. What do I want? What do I like? And as a writer, as an artist, that's how I learned how to do art and writing. It's, what do I want in a story? How do I tell that story? And how do I make that interesting and intriguing for my reader? Now, I do know, and it's something I've heard a lot from a lot of people as of late, a lot of people saying, well, I don't have creativity. I can't think of a creative element. And, some people have a mental disorder where they have no internal monologue. And it kind of tampers their creative nature. But to say you don't have creativity is a lie. It's a lie. One of the best books in general that I found was Making Comics by Scott. I think it's Flaring or something. Let's see. Let me find it. Scott McCloud. Scott McCloud. So I'll pull the book. This is a new cover version of it, but I stand by this first book as being one of the best history, not only in comics, but in creativity. One of the best art books went out being to teach you how to make art. It's teaching you why art exists, why we tell these stories, why. And I feel it is probably one of the best ways to tell a story. I think this is book number 3. Okay, so that's book number 3. Where's... Alright, here's the original. Here's the original. So the original is this one, right here. The Invisible Art. Ignore the other two unless you're going to make comics, because they're about making comics. The Invisible Art is about creativity. And it tells such a great story of why creativity exists. What is creativity? And so he goes into that there are 3 things we require in our lives: survival, shelter, or survival, necessity, and then creativity. So survival is, we need food, we need shelter, we need warmth. Those are needs. Then necessity is stuff like, well, I can get food, but I can't make shelter. So I do this, you give me shelter, I give you food. That concept. And creativity is the step left. Whatever doesn't get swarmed up in the concept of those other 2. We don't need it for survival. We don't need it as a necessity, but it's there. It's always been there. It's always like that. The first music was probably just grunts and, drum beat on like rocks. It's something like that. It's literally done out of boredom. If you just sit there and do nothing, and you say you don't have creativity, then I expect you to just sit there, mind up. And no one does. I guarantee you, not one person does. Yet do something. You find something to occupy your mind. And in that nature, you're being creative. So, the fact that we sort of shelter ourselves in mind that creativity is not something you can do, it's not true. You always are doing creative things. The way you walk, the way you talk, it could be creative. It's different dialects, different languages. Even how you eat. Some people eat with their hands, some people eat with chopsticks, some people eat with forks and spoons. Some people just swallow their food. Some people don't even chew their food. Everything in life has an element of creativity. It's not just the art around us. And I think that's why I commenced. And so I'll explain my college. I went to VCU, which is an accredited art school at the time when I was going to it. And one of the teachers there, I lent him that book. And he read it. And he made it part of the college curriculum to read The Invisible Art. Because it's such an important book to explain art. Just to explain how it exists, why it exists, and how we're always being creative. It's just a matter of how do you create. Now, you'd be like, well, I have no idea. I don't really have an imagination. That you're probably just not trained. You do. I mean, everybody has an imagination. You probably just don't understand how to use it. And it's something that's a trained exercise. And a lot of us get it when we're children, particularly if we have no one around, or in my case, you have an annoying older brother, sister, or maybe the opposite, maybe annoying younger sibling, or even, a twin that's annoying. And you have to have that moment. It's like where you play with an object. Play is creativity. The child concept of play is creative. And it's what you develop out of that play. Some people develop, tasks that they'll take into adulthood, into, learning how to be like mom and dad, how to run a store, how to cook, all these kind of things. What toys are based off of are both educational and play. And so, I will use my brother as an example. I'm the creative one out of the two. My brother is more attuned to, more technical stuff. We both grew up. We had Legos. My brother would have these elaborate Lego setup with cities and whatnot that he would build. And he became, a city planner based off of his time playing with Legos. Me, I played differently with Legos. I told stories with my Legos. I would come up with neat concepts and whatnot. So I built up my creative nature to bring out my imagination and whatnot. I wouldn't rely on strictly a computer to tell me that kind of stuff. And when it came to computers, our first computer as a family was a Macintosh Apple IIe. Back then, everything can be stored on a 2 megabyte disk. And I found something in the word production of Apple IIe that I could innovate through. I could actually create little animations on the Apple IIe by doing a form of page, next page, with it. I could tell these little animations, and that's what I would do. I would create these little animations, and I'd tell stories, and that's how I developed my creativity as a teenager into developing a mindset for creative thinking into a story, into a telling. And then when I got to college, I learned how to refine that a little bit. Like I said, a lot of the education in college didn't help. It helped a little bit, but it didn't help a lot. I learned the technical terms for animation, for writing a story. And while my grammar flat out sucks, it still does. Still does. I didn't let that hold me back. And the thing is, when you have a story to tell, be it, one of true nature, your life, your memoirs in life, or just your diary, what you've done through the day, it's very important that you think through what you're putting on words, describing things. So in my case, I would write these stories that had elements from what I would read and whatnot. And it would develop my own stories and my own tales and whatnot. And that's how I came about creating stories. Demon Blade is very much based on old tales, be it campfire tales or, myths and legends of the great, throughout the world. That's where Demon Blade comes from. And I used to tie it together the story of the cursed sword, which is the concept, and pretty much every culture has it. But I did find the concept of Mamasa, which was a real sword in Japanese, to be that basis in Demon Blade. And to take that and combine other fairy tales. And I've said this before, or other stories. Mai is based off of the Snow Queen from Hans Christian Andersen. You notoriously know Disney did the same story as Frozen. It's very much based off of Thumbelina. Tetra / Tetsu is very much based off of Virginia Woolf's Orlando. A little one also off of Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. But it's where I have developed their characteristics and brought them into a story. They're not one for one. But if I went to a computer and I went to AI, I said, AI, I want to use these concepts to write me a story. It's going to write me a crappy story. It's not going to give me the heart, the nature of these characters. It's not gonna weave together elements that tell, the struggles these characters are gonna go through. It's gonna be like, oh well, these characters met and they had a good time and they had a party and stuff like that. It's not gonna have the idea of passion. I really don't feel AI's ever gonna have the idea of passion. Oh, because you can tell it what passion is, but it's never gonna feel it. When we talk about today's subject, the concept of originality, if we just keep reaching to somebody else, in particular, a computer that is cold and unknowledgeable, into what it means to be, then you're never going to have that passion. You're never going to have the creativity, the originality of a story. And as people here have joined in, both Kitty, Akron, and Boki have kind of brought in a little bit, it's very much about bringing in that life, that passion to your stories, to your tales. I did a lot of that chatting while we had talk. So yeah, that's the meaning of tonight's thing. I kind of came up with the idea of tonight's topic at the last minute. I literally did. I didn't even know what I was going to draw until about, or cover until about 5 p.m. tonight. And it is now 9 p.m. So 4 hours ago. All I knew is, like, we talk about the coldness that was going through about the whole argument with the Cracker Barrel scenario, where we're losing tradition. We were losing tradition for cold, lifeless, emotionless production. And it is so easily reflected with AI and the overuse of that we're devoiding ourselves to think. And the more we devoid ourselves to think, the less human we become. Because eventually it's going to be, well, I can't love somebody without a computer to tell me how to feel. I can't know if it's good without a computer telling me how to feel. And we're not going to be any better than the computers that we made. And the sad truth is, the more and more we attach ourselves to that way of thinking, the more and the more we hurt ourselves in being creative. The more and more we kill the concept of originality. And it's an important part of life to have originality. Now, it doesn't mean, somebody else, created that. And there's not original. There are ideas out there that we have yet to dream of. There are concepts in life that we cannot even fathom at this point in time. And years upon years after we think, or got long gone, our ancestors are going to be like, boy, these people are stupid. Why didn't they just do this? It's literally our nature to be that way. We cannot think beyond what we can do. And I'll use an example. I'll use a great example. When I was growing up, literally as a kid, the NES had became the new end thing. And everybody in newspapers were like, oh, it's bad to let kids play video games. It's just a mind rot. Well, here we are, almost 30 to 40 years older. And actually, I think the NES is I was 40. Let's see. Let me see what years came out. United States was 1985, October 18th. But it was in Japan on July 15th, 1983. Thus, it is 40 years old. Wow. So, 40 years ago, the concept of home video games, and the NES wasn't the first one, but it's the one that made it the home entertainment system. And these days, a majority of people cannot imagine to have their household not to have a game console of some sort. Be it an old one, be it a new one, brand selective here whatnot. It would be unheard of back in the 1985, 40 years ago. Would be unheard of to have in a household. It really would. And again, using an example, the first, I think, 40 years that we had that, maybe two, first few years that we had the Nintendo in my household, my family was divorced. My dad would get us on the weekends and we'd live with our mom. Our dad had the NES. We were not allowed to take the game system to mom. That changed over time. But the concept of having a video game in our life all the time would be absurd. What about Atari? Yeah, Iris, like I said, there are game systems before it. Technically, my stepfather, his household, had one of the first game systems, which wasn't Atari. It was like this RF thing that you could play Pong on. But that was about it. And all it was like a slide control. So you just move the slide up and down and competed against each other as the white blocks moved. But it was a home entertainment system before that. But the NES, Atari started to make it new, but the NES is what really put it on the map, put video games on the map. And it was because Mario Brothers was such a hit, both in the arcade and in the home systems. And while Atari had stuff like Pac-Man, it was like really, really rough. So most people, they think game consoles that changed the world, they look at the NES because of the 8-bit generation. It's where video games really started to tell stories, because it was hard to see a story on an Atari game. Because you'd see a couple of blocks and it wouldn't make any sense. But when you had games like Super Mario Brothers and Zelda, they really established concepts. Zelda was the first game with a save. It's unheard of these days. You always have a save now. But Zelda was the first game to have it. Mario Brothers was one of the first major hits of the world. It's your blockbuster movie. It's the Star Wars of the video game world. It's George, not the first game, but it's the one that everyone knows. people go back and they're like, oh, Pong Pong. I guarantee you go to a teenager these days and you say, have you ever played Pong? They'll be like, what? They had stories in arcades. Yes, they did. Some games in the arcades had stories, but not until about the 80s. 70s, but you have great games in the 80s. I mean, you had what was it? Dragon Slayer. One of the most frustrating coin eaters of the arcade, but had a wonderful story and wonderful animation by I forget if it's name was John or by Bliff, and it just to bring home that element. I mean, there was a version of that Dragon Slayer on the NES. Was not good. A lot of games on the NES still were not good. But you really started to see the concept of entertainment in video games come about in the NES. Once PlayStation came on to play, you had discs. Well, technically CDI, but the PlayStation really did it. 1995, Mario was really impressive. Something to Space Harrier, for example. Yes, Space Harrier was a good game. Love Space Harrier. And these days, in fact, I still hold to it. I mean, it's the concept I put in 11 Kingdoms. Video games are becoming the new movies. Because it's a way you could have a movie that you interact with. That you take part in. And it actually gives you a concept of critical thinking. And that's what I don't think back in 1985 people thought of when they saw the NES. They're like, oh, this is fine, right? You don't learn anything. It teaches creative thinking. Games like Tetris. Oh my god. To think creatively. Just how to put together a puzzle and not lose the game. I mean, my dad was so frustrated and haunted by the music of Legend of Zelda. Because I played the hell out of that game. But it told a story. And albeit, the original Legend of Zelda was really not a good story. You know, it wasn't until the SNES version that we really got a good story. There was a story in Legend of Zelda 2, but that game, oh my god. That game was hard. I don't think I got past the first dungeon of Legend of Zelda 2. And unlike its predecessor, it didn't have that save and move forward in the story concept. It just had the really hurt yourself concept. But, I mean, Nintendo learned that they're like, okay, a lot of people like the traditional Zelda over Zelda 2. Let's tell the story this way when we do the Super Nintendo version. So we got that, and that influenced Zelda as it would be for a lot of games. I'd like to say, never again, or I mean, after a certain point. But they literally just came out with the Zelda game that I have on my Switch that plays the same top-over concept that was in the original. So, it's not unheard of to sort of tell this element, to tell these stories. It's all about the creative being original in your own way. And so, yeah, I speak 2 hours about this concept. Actually, an hour mostly about this part. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. So, I'm gonna give those still watching an option. Do you want me to continue drawing Demon Blade? I probably will less talk, let the music play, and just draw this page. Or you want me to draw 11 Kingdoms? Sorry, for me, the Nintendo lost all its prestige to monopolize video game industry in the 80s. Yeah, well, yeah, I understand that. And when this whole Sega, we really got competition for Nintendo. So, which was good, because it helped the industry grow to have competition. Joe, Eris, I mean, you're a Demon Blade fan? You want me to draw a Demon Blade? Or you want me to continue with 11 Kingdoms? Illustration. Or I can do Witchin. I do have Witchin pages to draw. So.
Childhood ghosts whisper through the trees. Memories dance on the soft summer breeze. Though miles apart, our hearts still confide. Love like a river, there won't be.
And if you guys want me to talk about something, just let me know. That's what we're gonna do for these last hours from now on. It's gonna be, just be drawing. I'll let the music play. But if you have a subject you want us to talk, so yeah. Which one you want to draw? I can draw any one of them. All of them I'm working on at the same time, so I'm willing to flip-flop between each. I will say Witchin is taking a lot more time right now because I'm having to draw a crowd scene. And I'm going to be running into that soon with Demon Blade as well. But at least for a few pages, Demon Blade, I don't have to draw too many crowds. Demon Blade. Okay. We'll just keep drawing Demon Blade. It's no problem. And like I said, we're kind of at the point in this chapter where the story we've had going is winding down. So we're getting towards the lesson of that part of the story before we move into the main story of this arc. About resolving the frustration that is with Tetsu and his friend Roland. And whatever little bit of humor with it. So we're doing a boob joke on this page. Would figure, Tetra doesn't really ain't used to having boobs. Not learned how to control the concept that they have them when they have a warm moment that they want to hug a friend.
You and me in fields where flowers bloom. Life was a canvas we painted with a tune.
And Rylan coming to a decision of what they want to do in life. And so, I mean, that's a good element for them to come to.
Even though you're far, we're connected deep. Memories of love and dreams we keep. Time can't erase what our hearts store. Love's still alive, just like
We just have to deal with what started in the latest issue that released of
I hold a picture
Tetra having to deal with
of yesterday.
the fear within
Your smile still brings me close.
from the PTSD that she suffers.
Though the years roll on and seasons turn, for your affection, my soul will always yearn. In my solitude,
And I put the wrong number on her. I'm putting Mai's number.
every whispered secret, every humble craft, though you're miles away in this vast life spree, you're the eternal note in my melody.
I kind of want,
Even though you're far, we're
to kind of have a moment of jealousy, but at the same time, it's like, it's too early for, to be fully into the relationship. It starts to see a little bit of Roland's kindness to admit their relationship. You remember PC Engine TurboGrafx? Yes. PC Engine and Philips CD was another one. The horrible Legend of Zelda discs that Philips CD had, well, still is a nightmare on Nintendo's licensing. Same with the Mario games they did. But the Mario games weren't as bad as the Zelda ones. Still bad, but not as bad as the Zelda ones. This was one of my first CD console. It was very revolutionary. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people enjoyed TurboGrafx because you had Bonk and all that other stuff. Problem was the CDs would go bad real easily and get wonky. And once Sony, who had success with the Walkman and had come out with the CD Walkman, they got the concept of how a CD processes perfectly to do for video game. And that's how Sony PlayStation kind of took it and ran. Because, I mean, Sega even had the Dreamcast at the same time as PlayStation. But the Dreamcast couldn't live long enough. Are these games really that bad? It's not the gameplay on the CD, on the Turbo CD. It's the CDs had bad reads. They were programmed well, and sometimes they would just break easily and not maintain their data, or would corrupt easily. So it took a company like Sony that was more used to producing CDs to succeed a little bit better with it.
You say a word and their pencils fly, turning diner dreams into pie in the sky.
So, I mean, you could always have the first person to make something. But it's at the same time, we remember the first that could perfect it more so. Because sometimes it'll get lost in that. I mean, I guarantee you, Kleenex is not the first person to make tissues. But everybody, at least in the United States, will say, don't give me that tissue, give me a Kleenex. That's what they'll say, even if it's not Kleenex. I mean, I don't have Kleenex right here on my desk, but I have a box of tissues. But I'd still probably be like, oh, I need a Kleenex. Nintendo didn't even go to disc. Now, the Philips CDI kind of hurt Nintendo's concept on disc. That's why they kept with cartridges for a few years. The PC Engine. Yeah, I mean, that was the problem with the Turbo. I'll even look it up. The problem, well, I think it was also cost. It was expensive. Alright, TurboGrafx system faced several problems. GFX issues. Users reported various graphical problems, leading to need hardware replacements. Business model. TurboGrafx was considered a failure due to its business model and handling, which limited its potential. Faulty chips. See, this was kind of what was going on about. Issues of the HU6260 chip were noted, causing graphical glitches. I sent my message while we were still ready. It's fine. It's fine. Cleaning contacts. Users suggested cleaning the contacts of the graphics cards to resolve connectivity problems. Voltage falls. The TurboGrafx Mini, so this was the second version of the TurboGrafx, had a fatal flaw related to voltage, which could render the system unresponsive. These factors contributed to overall challenges faced by the TurboGrafx system. That's what kind of killed TurboGrafx. I'm not saying the games were bad. I think some of the games, like Bonk and whatnot, were well loved, and they looked cool. But I think the system having so many issues made it frustrating to have. And that's when PlayStation came out with the PlayStation, and Sega came out with their CD. And then later, the Dreamcast. So it was a combination of those that kind of shut down TurboGrafx. It literally was. I mean, Philips CDI. Problem with Philips CDI, it was crappy games for an $800 price tag at the time. I remember the ads where it'd be like, "Oh, you play this Zelda game. It only cost you $800. And it's like, freaking kidding me? But what do you think about the PC Engine CD? I think PC Engine CDs, I do remember when they came out about, it took me about 2 years to get one with a CD drive, after they came out. But I do feel they were better, but early CD drives were very faulty. Very faulty. I think I had to replace mine within the first 2 to 3 years. about it. And it it's because the laser system wasn't great and they had to update it. And then one of the first I was one of the first to jump on DVDs in my at least in my family. My graduation gift from college was a DVD player because I asked for it and I was like, I really want a DVD player. And it's because I was already messing with DVDs before you could write on them in college. And it's because I was animation and I was also doing working the library, handling media, particularly new DVDs as well as old films. And so I was learning how to use and watch DVD, and I was like, well, this is the better way to watch films because you're not having to deal with videotape and rewinding everything and going through all this. But I still kept my freaking, videotape player because I still had a lot of stuff on videotape. And it wasn't until my recent homelessness situation that I lost those videotapes and that videotape player. So that was 2022. So I mean, I kept old formats, but at the same time, we wouldn't keep CDs. And I mean, CDs are great, but when I was in college, we're talking 2000 was the year I graduated. So when we had to do animation work, we wouldn't use CDs, even with rewritable drives out there. We wouldn't use CDs. We would use these disc systems that I continued to use into the 2000 or in the aughts, which is being from 2000 to 2009. So these drives were like the Imagine drives. So these are basically, at the time, hard drives that you would eject in and out of a system. So what? Somehow it was successful in Japan more than the Sega Genesis because Sega and Nintendo wanted to make CD systems. To a point. Like I said, Nintendo kind of dodged out of the CD concept when they had their deal with Philips. And they saw what Philips produced and they said, no CDs. We'll stick to cartridges. And they did. Until the GameCube. Until the GameCube, they never did discs. And now they've gone away from discs again. Now they're doing, key cards and digital information. I'm not a fan of what the Switch 2 has done for its gameplay. It's gameplay. Because you're not holding on to a physical copy of your game. And while I don't have a Switch 2 at this point, I do want one eventually. But I'm not going to be jumping on it too easily. And I'm going to try and do, because I know there's something you can do, that you can make a physical copy of the game from the new Switch. And that's what I'd like to do, is make a physical copy so I have one when, the Switch goes down. Or Nintendo stops doing things. We don't know. We cannot anticipate if these companies will still be in business 10 years down the line. But, you know, their game systems may not be. I mean, I still have my Game Boy DSS. And hell, I may still have my old Game Boy. But I can't upload or download anything onto those systems because their internet connectivity is no more. Sega made Sega CD, and Nintendo was trying to do a system with Sony or Philips. Weren't talk with Sony, but they went with Philips. And that was supposed to be where Nintendo kind of did the game design, and the system design was going to be with Philips. There was also PlayStation, Philips, having Nintendo licenses. Yeah. But at the same time, the most notable game switch to PlayStation from Nintendo was Final Fantasy. Because Final Fantasy was on the Nintendo system, and you played the original there. Same with all the games, even though they didn't release 2 and 3 in the United States, and 5 was hard to get. Now they did release 82 and 3. That was 4 and 6. But we did not, here in the United States, but we as Americans, without being told or learning on the internet years later, only knew Final Fantasy VI as Final Fantasy III, and Final Fantasy IV as Final Fantasy II, even though they weren't. But PlayStation got those because it couldn't do Final Fantasy VII on the Nintendo console at the time, which would have been the 64. There's no way they could have done that game on 64. And because of that, Square and Nintendo had a falling out. And for a couple of years, they would not produce a game on a Nintendo console. Now that changed, I think, come the Wii. They still don't release some Nintendo title or some Square titles, but they were starting to release some Square products, and they were good games. A few of them were just really bad, or they re-released some older titles, but it still wasn't to worry. It was like, here you can have the remake of Final Fantasy IV for the Game Boy DS. The Game Boy Advance did have Final Fantasy VI on it, so. But it was a weird time. It was a weird time. I do feel weird writing this joke and drawing this joke out. Considering the other half of the story is Tetra and Kyle. And to have this weird friendship moment between Rowan and Tetra, but it's good to see and develop Rowan as a character. Definitely in 2013, I did not give him enough attention, and the same with most of the characters. Outside of mine, you know. Oh, I did also promise some Demon Blade. Original Demon Blade. Let me go into Even Art and see if I can get keep it up. For curiosity, Nintendo 64 sold less than the Sega Saturn in Japan, and they preferred CD consoles. Yeah. Nintendo did not. While the 64 had some very memorable games, it was not as well loved as people think of the series or the system, and it's kind of interesting to realize that only Nintendo fanboys really kept the system alive until probably the Switch. Although, I will give credit. I gotta give credit to, what was it? Not Game Informer. Whatever the Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb show was back in the day when the GameCube came out. They did a durability test, and it made me laugh, but it was hilarious. Between PlayStation 2, GameCube, and I don't even think Xbox was out at the time, but it would have been like the original Xbox. And they did the durability test where they would drop them. And the PlayStation stopped working after a 6-foot drop. I think the Xbox stopped working immediately after a single drop. The GameCube survived a 20-foot drop and still played. Nintendo knew how to make a durable system. They may have made games, but they knew how to make a durable system. So, in the West, the success was huge. Yeah, because you had games like Ocarina of Time, you had Super Mario 64, you had a couple others. You had GoldenEye was a huge one for the GameCube, or I mean, not for GameCube, for the 64. That would have been mainly a US fandom. So, those games kind of kept the system alive. It really did. That's why even if you go now into the Nintendo sort of, if you sign up for their internet services where you can play the old games, and you go into the GameCube games, the most popular games were Western favorites, including Killer Instinct and GoldenEye. So, those games really is what kept that system going. Johnny, I'm trying to adjust to a new sleep schedule. right now, and I don't technically need to do it for the new job, because the new job, once things are going, it's gonna be, you know, when I can get to it that day or the next day for the work. It's not like I have to immediately do it, so I don't have to be like up at like 6 a.m. to do the job. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, I gotta sleep. All right, I'm gonna show you the first issue of Demon Blade ever. First issue of Demon Blade ever. Right here. This is the first issue of Demon Blade ever. Very different drawings, but similar. Tetsu's hair changed a bit over the years. Mai's always had her little ponytail, and sort of flopped her about. Go back. I think should be fine. Yeah. This is one of my favorite drawings of early Mai. I was just sort of sketching in my book, 1998. And, yeah, I was doing structural for mine. And I just saw this stupid joke. And I originally wrote it in pencil and said, "Hey, pal." And my friends laughed. And I was like, I'm just going to eat this. And that'll be it. So it's always been one of my favorite stories to tell. But in humor sense, it's very much, you can see the color coming in with Mai here, and her personality. This was supposed to be Mai, in this case it was 500 years ago, not 300 years ago, like I do in the series now. Very much early Mai. Early drawing here with why is this not load now? I can see the picture here. I can't let it. Early Sarah, right here with the frying pan. Okay, actually this is the first page of Demon Blade. It's called Demon Yoba Blade back then, but the redundancy. So, and we of course call one of the characters Shid, who had this little brother, which later became Hugh. Both of them was Sarah, the friend. And it's stupid jokes. Really, really interesting. Yeah, it's a story that developed this way. It's very rough to do. See, now the colors come in. And this was an example of me using a traditional comic book page. I drew this with prismatic marker and or just like a Sakura pen, and hand drew it on a comic book page. That is very early design for 2013 version. Early design for 2013 version. Early design by. This is literally when I came up with 2013. This is the first thing I drew for the 0 issue. I drew it this way. And we kept sort of this color tone instead of doing the black and white or the black line. We kind of kept the color tone going. And I kind of did my series before this. And I was doing a comic, which was Sweet Dreams. So, and of course you can see issue 0 here. Early my design for 2013. Little mini my. I was messing with the symbol and the logo before I decided to go with the circle and the triangle and all that Tetsu had. But yeah, it's chapter 0. You see very much the early, long hair or Chinese dress, regular outfit for her. And I'm just trying to get to the outfit that you liked. So I want to remember the dress. It's been a while since I drew it. Look at this. When I put Tetsu in that very outfit again in the 2013 or in the current version. So do we still have the? No, we don't have that blank page. So let's try. Let's try. Now Tetsu would look now. If I kind of did that same dress. So, drawing Tetsu. You want Tetsu or Tetra in the outfit? I can do either one. Okay. I'm kind of shuddering at the idea. I wasn't expecting to share your early work now. Nice surprise. Oh, I mean, I promised it on Sunday. So I was like, yeah, we need to show it. We need to show it. So, if I would do this outfit, I'm not even. Let's try this a little bit quicker. So we're gonna do a quick sketch here. So, if it were Tetsu, it'd be more flat on him. I don't know if I keep the shirt. I think the shirt would be changed because this was a concept of reusing the same shirt he normally was in the 2013 design. Which was the white with the collar, white, sort of just white short sleeve with a collar. It's not that you don't need to be apologize. No need to apologize. I'm just trying to feel it out myself. If I would use this outfit. Yeah, I don't know if I'd keep the shirt with the outfit. The boots would probably be a little fancier. The skirt's fine. The skirt's fine. I would probably add a little more detail to the skirt. These days, because Tetsu's very... Tetsu or Tetra is very feminine in their outfits that I go for. It's Mize that's always more boyish and tomboyish. So, I definitely would probably add heel to the boot. And if we're to do this shirt, I'd probably do like a shorter sleeve. Make it sort of like half sleeve. And I would probably add something on the arm. And maybe even make that a cutoff. To where it comes up here. And of course, if Tetra were to wear it, she'd have boob. Add a little bit more of a butt. But Tetsu, yeah, if I would redo it, it'd be a bit more feminine of a top. But I think the bottom's fine. The trying to think was the hose. So it was supposed to be like a mesh, almost a fishnet stocking. I probably switched that up for like a pattern to put a little bit of a pattern there. I sent a joke message, but it didn't appear. Then I apologize. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I would probably feminize it a bit because it's a little too masculine up at the top. I do like the idea of, giving Tetsu a hairpin, a hair clip. In this case, coming up, Tetra has a hair ribbon in her hair. He knows design. While her upcoming outfit has that kind of dress attention, there'd be a flower element to it because I always like having a flower in her outfits somewhere. And then mine normally will be boyish. And actually, I will give you, I'm going to shrink this. I'm going to give you a preview of Sarah's outfit coming up. Because Sarah is going to have a unique outfit as well. Or the guy who punched I want the guy who punched that. Let's see. Which was, I want the guy who got punched by Thad. Oh. That poor guy. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back here. Do I show the old issue of the original Demon Blade where I'm gonna have to real quickly go here because I know there's some adult images in featuring the cast, and I have to not show those. But I wonder if I have the old pages of the original series of no, I did not. I cannot. When Fudacho. So that was based off of a character called Fudacho, which translated is badass. Literally his name was badass originally. Get rid of the selection. And like I have in issue 5, and both, let's see if I can get to, I don't think I have it on here in the 2013, but I know I have 2015 version of that very hit that you're talking about. Let's see. This guy. Okay. Let's go talk. This guy. Smarmy ass that he smashes into the table. When he was introduced in the original comic, he was literally putting his face or his fist in the middle of a guy's face. That someone called him fat ass. And he's like, don't cover that. And so, yeah. Yeah. So this is the person, for those who are wondering what Iris is talking about. It's this page of Dad literally beating up a character who says, because Dad's nickname for Tetsu was Tits Yoshi. And so the joke was, no, you could find Yoshi in a Mario game. And this was his response. So, violent way, but when you have a violent villain, that's how you draw them. Alright, like I said, I'm gonna give a preview of Sarah's upcoming outfit here. Because she's gonna have a unique outfit. Sarah, like mine, is very tomboyish. In fact, that's why in chapter 5, you learn that Sarah's giving away her dresses to Tetra. Because Tetra likes, the outfits. But Sarah is a lesbian in the story canonically. And so she has her own look she's going to have for this upcoming issue. And I haven't really gotten a drawn out, but she's going to have a white tuxedo top. And it's going to be based off of pretty much an outfit I actually wore in my own high school prom, which was a white tuxedo. But her bottom is going to be a skirt. And I felt for Sarah to have sort of this outfit. It's more appropriate for her to be like this. So it's going to be flaring out to a skirt. That's going to be about like cat up to the knee. So her outfit's going to be kind of like this with sort of tuxedo top. And Hugh and Kyle's outfit are going to be similar, but the shade will be different since it's black and white. Technically, their color, the shirts are different. Whatnot. I really like the ribbon in the skirt. Well, I mean, Tetra's outfit and the coming outfit series, it's on her card, Eva card. It has a makeshift ribbon in it, so let's get it. So, yeah, this is the issue. So, coming issues. This is literally says 11 and 12's dress. That's the dress from the exterior. And let me, because T for censorship purposes, I can't show, outfit differently. But, I can't show the non-suitable for airy stuff, so. But, yeah, here's the dress a little bit better. And I think I can show the 2013 version of the same dress. Yeah, iconic one. So this more of the iconic version of it is with Tetsu wearing it. So you can see there's ruffled ribbon in the back, tight, but it's an open shoulder. I think that's the difference between the 2013 version is it had sleeves. Well, had straps. and the new one does not. But the new one also has a very short leg show in the outfit. So let's see here if I get to the older version of the dress. Yeah, I mean, this is a decent example. So this was wrong thing. This was the earlier released. So before, this was the preview what 2015 was going to bring. So we had this scene. You see a far bloodier version of Chapter 5's moment. In color, and then you see the relationship, and then you can see I got a little strap on Tetra. I made her dress more had sequins in the original, and when I changed that about in the new version, I was like, "Where's the sequins?" Because it's black and white. It's be hard to show sequins, especially considering they're going to be fighting in this outfit. But this outfit up here, what was repeated in Chapter 5, officially. Game Plus is up in there. I couldn't show. Actually, Chapter 6, because that scene happened at the end. No, it was Chapter 5. It was Chapter 5. That scene did happen in Chapter 5. Where is it? Yeah, I can't see. Here we go. Let's see. Redone. So, I decided, part of me researched how long does a black eye go black? And so it's like, well, you're only going to really have a bruise that will eventually go black. So it's like, I can't do the black eye. So I just did the bruise mark. They were missing a tooth in the character design of this page. And I had to really make the scene impactful to tell what could have been the last moments of the two. I had to make the blood, but you can see if you really, I don't know if the tone really comes out good enough on the screen. There's a darker point with the cut on the cheek. They carried into the throat here, because the idea was to, and I'll go to the drawing here, that we're kind of sketching these out. The idea is when our young hero got slashed, their cut went like this. After the legless man incident, that cut went like that. So that's why when you see Tetsu now, or Tetra when I draw them, including as I got them right here, it stars much more prominent on the neck. And it's because I had to think through, how are these cuts made? And what happened? So the cuts here are several stabs. So stab, 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 stab. This was a straight cut. So a straight cut down sort of the side of the neck, missing the varicose vein. So, when I designed the 2015, I was like, I really had to think, how that cut was made, to make that interesting and at the same time effective, and to note where it knit the vocal cord of Tetsu. So if I were to do a voice for Tetsu, kind of how my voice is with the voice AI is pretty much right in line where you would hear Tetsu's voice. You know, a little rough, but it would still have a high pitch. Because as we mature, the male vocal cord kind of builds out. And when you talk about someone going through transition, some people opt to shave their Adam's apple, which can also affect their vocal cord a little bit. A little, not much. Now, the difference doing that before you hit puberty, which was the case with Tetsu, they'd keep a higher pitch voice. So, yeah. And the only difference between Tetra and Tetsu is a slighter higher pitch vocally. As little things I had to think. And I had to do the research. It's like, well, how would these cuts be made? How would these stabs be made? To get the character this way. So, since I don't have the scenes, I mean, we'll go to another bloody scene. We'll go to the next chapter over, I think. That has the image. Let's see, the image that would be far worse. Where is it? I know it's here. Maybe it was the same issue. Yeah, I definitely can't put this on screen for you guys because nudes. Has to be do nudes. Do nudes. They pay. Gotta pay. I'm surprised I'm not finding it. I know exactly where to look on the page, but I'm surprised I'm not finding it at the very moment. I know I showed it a few weeks ago. But it is chapter 5. Okay. Bring it back up. This here is a common knife, kind of like what that here is bending. Same knife, same kind of knife. Common dinner knife. Dull, not sharp, made of metal. Stabbed in the neck. Lots of blood. So I think it's the little thoughts that have to go into character details, especially when I want to tell something, a scenario, and I mean, especially when I get into the trauma of Tetsu in this case. I mean, we literally just had, in the case of Witchin, Love Potion Lament, which showed a side of Ida/Theodore that no one had saw before. That Ida would would be a very teasing, playful little asshole. As a child. Vastly different personality than Tetsu as a main character. And so I was like, oh man, I have to, you know, I didn't really have to search much to see a little brat, you know. Theodore's not like a total brat, but is enough of a little ass that it's like they literally torture the feelings that Ryland had for them. They really did. So yeah, I mean, it's when I came up with 2015, I was like, I got to have these minute details. It's just like, okay, if I draw mine and her chest is exposed, you will see a scar across the breast. That is where Yoku had ripped out her heart. Literally. I don't even know if I got an image of that here, so I think I gotta go to Demon Blade site and literally show that as it appeared in the 2013. So that would have been in Homecoming Horror. And I'm literally gonna look for that page. Oh, actually, I can show Tetsu's dress in Homecoming Horror. So let's gotta talk. There you go. Tetsu's dress was, it wasn't over the sleeve, it was this sort of onesie collar thing, which I do think I'm gonna have Ida in something similar soon. So let's see. This was a long chapter to write. I remember when. Okay, here it is. So we're in the backstory. This is what an entire chapter is going to be in Demon Blade, is this backstory. But, yeah. I don't show it too well here. But Yoku's literally ripping his, or taking his hand and pulling it from her chest. Yoku also would not have brown hair in the new version. I like keeping the silver hair. But yeah. It's not pleasant. But that's the reason why if I were to show go out of this and see if I can find a good one of these, excuse me, pages where I show my chest scar. The chest scar. I think I probably have it on her character sheet. Actually, I know which page. I know exactly which page to show it on. Actually, does it show there? It barely shows here. So, great. Now I want to read Tetsu Princess Dress short the comic again. Oh. So, I can't really zoom it in anymore for you guys. Here is our breast line. Here is a small scar line. For my. I'm gonna try and get to a better image of it, which I believe the best one that is not revealing will be chapter 2 at the end. Yep, chapter 2 at the end. This page. You can see the scar right there. Every time I expose my chest, which won't be in her dress, because her dress has the collar. Even though it's mesh, you won't really see the scar. She does hide it often, but when I draw her with her chest kind of exposed, I'll put the scar there. I'll put the scar there because it's where her injury is, and a lot of the characters have scars from messaging in Demon Blade. Kyle technically has a scar. His scar was visible in the old version, and it still may be visible in the future. But he'll have a scar on its forehead. Pretty much believe it is his left temple. He'll have a scar. And it's because he was in an accident. So he has that scar. But, I mean, it's little details like that. I did debate on giving Roland a mole, because I kind of decided in 2015 design to base Roland's look off of Dule Hill, who's the actor from Scrubs, and who plays Turk. So I kind of designed Roland off of Turk. And partially because I do love that show. It was great. I know they're doing a new season. I'm a little on that. While I do like Scrubs, it was, I think, past its time. It went past how good it was and started going to it. The jokes are getting old. A lot of the good characters are gone, and it's just like, okay. But yeah, Roland's design is very much based off of Turk from Scrubs. Dole Hell, to be precise, is the actor. So and I just have like this comedic moment where he's like, okay, my good friend is, suddenly a girl and suddenly has her breast against me, and I'm trying not to think about it. So, great. Yeah. If you want, just to make it fun, I can put that picture up of the screen. The comic. Oh, let's see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Here. I bet it's probably one of my favorite jokes in the shorts. It's better if I read it on tapas, right? That way the view count will go up a little bit. I can read on heavy platform. I really don't care. You can read it on tapas. That's fine. You can read it on webtoons. You can read it on manga, whatever. Manga. What is it? Manga reader? Yeah, manga draft. Read on manga draft. You can read it on Pixiv. You can read it on DemonHeart. You can read it on demonblade.com. I have it on so many sites. It's getting ridiculous. The best one is to buy it and read it on Amazon. From Amazon in physical form. So here's Princess Dress that they're talking about. A little Demon Blade shortcuts. I do have an idea for a few more of these that come up, but it's on that joke that my kind of likes to treat Tetsu as a dress-up doll and change his clothes. And Tetsu is trans, and they kind of like the outfits, but they're very tsundere and that nature, and so they're kind of like, eh. So that joke. Again, I gotta. I hate I have to do this, but there are so many adults, and there's one right here. Actually, there's two kind of adults, but one is slightly fixed to where you can't do it. A joke I don't get to play enough here. I was able to play it in Mai's cooking habits. Tend to be bad. This was a controlled one. The joke being Mai can actually give life to her food. But it's always going to come out horrible. And this was Tetsu showing off how to bake a cake. And what can't be seen easily is Mai's looks like a turd. Because she literally eats the ingredients as she goes and doesn't care. So she makes a turd. The irony is Tetsu. So it's written that they take home back and learn and they do it to learn to help feed Mai, all. But Tetsu's actually horrible at art. That they draw these horrible things. So to see a creative side to Tetsu, where they can make a cake and look good, versus their art that appears in issue 2. Actually, technically it appears in issue 1. Where it's like childish art. Crayon drawings. It's funny. It's funny. But I mean, these are a little cute. I mean, I enjoyed that one out of the shortcuts. I also enjoyed this one of Kyle, because Kyle being the flirt that he is, just feel like he has his little fan club here, and they're all so really into themselves, and he's just like, hey, and then Ino comes by and he's like, hey, Mai comes by and he's like, hey, and Mai's just like drop dead. She hates him. And then Tetsu comes by and it's like, bye, sweetie. So it's stupid jokes. It's stupid jokes we can play. Dead. Got it. Because they're right there. In this file that I've got to watch what I post here. the running gag that, and this appeared in 5 and 6. That Nino, who is very much feels his superhero nature, for being a mascot cow, attacking by because he constantly feels an evil present. I do want to show this dress. This dress was very cute for Tetra, and I do want to redo this dress. Does the Demon Blade site have a view count? Kind of. It has a secret view count. I can tell when people are there. I don't know if that dress was repeated in. No, this was the one I went with chapter 5, sort of. And this one, where Kyle walks Hachi, and Hachi can grow large. It proves that walking a dog who can grow multiple stories in height is not exactly a good idea without protection, as Tetra gave him a helmet. It's little. All Shortcuts is a little bit of these side jokes. But yeah. I do have a few ideas for a few more Shortcuts. They're not gonna be, a regular monthly thing or anything. It's a few more comics, but they were meant always to be just little joke comics with the series. Like you see with a lot of manga, I mean, you have those little jokey side stories or bits. And so, I mean, that's what Shortcuts is. It's just these little jokey comic moments between the cast of Demon Blade. I definitely have one with Yoku planned. I don't know when it'll come about. But I'll probably do it. I'll probably do it during this upcoming 2-3 chapters. They are the more beloved comics in Demon Blade, where they're just short gag comics. And very much my first comics were short gags. So, I mean, Demon Blade, well, it was my first to draw. My first regular comic series was Critical View, which was just dad comics. They were mostly attacking myself and humor, making fun of my own self. But it was gay comics, nonetheless. It's what a. Every now and then I'll show them and be like, yeah, it's me going about and saying, oh, you, this oddity. I mean, I always come back to this time of year and think of one of the ones I did, which was all about the how I have eaten alive by mosquitoes and bees swarm me a lot because I have, like, I guess, tasty blood. And so I had the comic basically come out and be, at the time, because the characters, one of the characters was big at the time, which was Mr. Mosquito from the Mr. Mosquito game. And I had Mr. Mosquito, and I had the bee from Honey Nut Cheerios. um, both talking to one another. And the bee was like, "You smell that, Mr. Mosquito? You know what that smells?" And Mr. Mosquito's going, and like really evil text, going, "Sweet Berla." And the last panel was literally my character running from a swarm just behind me. As so, but it's those little jokes that can sit with you. And it helps to have a little bit of a sense of humor on things to carry through in a comic. And you can't always be serious. I mean, you can have a serious comic, but you're still gonna have a funny moment here and there. I'm actually gonna grab the proper color of the tongue. Show you guys a little bit of the witching coming up. People did enjoy Cass. Cass made her appearance in the latest page, and people enjoyed her. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Introduce a new character, and people like him. Cass being a short, ill-tempered bartender. All right. We're going to start winding down, though, because I need to get some sleep. And I've been drawing since about maybe noon today. So, been trying to get a lot of page work done this week. Because next week I'm going to do training. So it's like, yeah. Before we go, we'll finish this up. Let's add a little bit of Roland blushing. Come on. Why is this? Oh, because it's the pen dropper. It's too light. Hi there. Physical copy of Beam and Blade. I can tell you, it is about 8.5 by 11 and height and width. So it's not like your typical manga. It's a sizable book. 6 chapters. So you can get chapters 1 through 6 in here. All with black and white. Decent color. And it's, I've done my own copy recently. It's going to be dependent upon the printer. It will take about 2 weeks to get to you. Because Amazon prints them. Depending on who they give it to. They give it to a printer and they send a copy to you. But you can buy it on Amazon. It's available worldwide for Amazon. So if you are in another country, as long as Amazon has the printable function, you can buy this book. This is the 2015. Now, there are digital copies of books, including one of my earlier books, Sweet Dreams. We talked about that earlier. All here. 11 Kingdoms will reappear here as well. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. So, a week ago, I told you why Embryo Arts came to be, why the name came. I find it amusing that there's a fantasy series using my name, my company name. So I do find it amusing that there's a fantasy book series with Embryo. So, and that is amusing, and they are people always got them up there, but we've got a 5.0 rating. Now, mind you, it's one person, not 84 and 21, but we got 5.0 rating. On Amazon for most our books. I mean, we had up to, I don't know why, I got a 2.5 there, and a 2.6 here, but, But yeah, the books, a lot of the books are available on Amazon. Most of these are digital, except for book 1 of 2050. That one is printable, so you can get one right off of Amazon. As our little message down here says, you can buy the book through Amazon. So yeah, and eventually we'll have 11 Kingdoms available on there. It was on there before. Eventually it will be there again. So once I get the final edit completely done and the illustration done, I'll get to the making the physical copy, where we'll have the hard copy, which will be a hardback, because I don't think I can do a paperback with 800 and some pages. I think it has to be a hardcover. I wish I had financial conditions to get a physical copy. Oh, it's $15 now, although I do have to say, because of rising prices, we're probably going to have to raise the price of Demon Blade soon. Because the size and because the quality of the print needs to be good, I'm probably going to have to raise it up to $19.99. Simply to make the quality good. Because the quality they sent me last month was the print quality, I wish it was not as washed out as it is. But it depends on printers. But yeah. But yeah, it's $15 right now. You could, if you're like, oh, well, I can't afford that. I want to read it though. If you're a Prime member, you get these books free. See the Kindle Unlimited? Book free. Book free. Does it cost you a thing? So if you are a Prime member, you can get many of the books for free. You can't get them hard. You get the digitals for free. So, always been a deal I've had with Amazon since the first book, which was Sweet Dreams. Always make the digital available for free for Amazon subscribers. I don't even know if US accepts Fixed payments. Like I said, this is available. Let's see. I think I know you can buy it in most European, Asian, and North American countries. I think Brazil is on the list for you, Iris. But don't hold me to that, because it's up to Amazon printing, because Amazon is the printer on this one. That's the only reason I'm able to do physical copies is I've gone with printing deals with Amazon. So they print the copies. So, but I do know those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, because I do have an audience that I see in those areas a lot, you can get a copy there. They're available. In fact, you in the US and England, you can even request these to come to your local library. I have it set up that they can come and be ordered by libraries and in your public library. Same as school libraries, but I do suggest the audience be teenage and older for this, so more public library. So, you can see I purchased it last month. So, but I honestly don't know why I haven't ordered my own issue in a while. Just kinda. But yeah. Oh wait, I'd say that. I've been saying that. I haven't even shown the book. Here. See, Amazon, amazing site. I've been one of the first comic publishers on Amazon, and I still am one of the major, or go to Amazon for most of my publications. So, that being said, we'll come to our current work. And, yeah, you guys got to see me finish up this page. And got a couple panels on this one done, including a very goofy Roland panel. But, yeah, if there's a topic you guys want to hear, art you guys want to see, let me know. We can't do it. We can't do certain things on stream, but we can do some. And as always, I do want to thank those who chatted. So Iris, always want to thank you there. Kitty Ekron, thank you for your chat. Boki, thank you for your chat. And there was one from Twitch. Let me go to the multi-stream. Oh crap. I lost the multi-stream. Okay. I don't know what's been going on with Streamlabs. They updated, but multi-stream for some reason did not show you too. I don't know. I didn't see it elsewhere. But, as always, go out there and be the... Oh! Nightmare Fear. Thank you for the follow. That just happened. So, I want to thank that. As always, go out there and be the best you that you can be. And have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down streams and thanks for time we spend. Laughs and smiles all through night. With you, it feels just right. Signing off, don't forget like, comment, some. Signing off, ring the bell and show some out. Good vibes, shared a fun ride. With you I'm filled with pride.